Okay, we need to talk about three massive stories that are unfolding right now, and they're all connected. We've got a battle over AI that's literally ended up in a criminal court. We've got a race for the future of cars that, frankly, America seems to be falling behind in. And then there's this huge, multi-billion-dollar showdown over Bitcoin. So let's get right into it, starting with a story that's completely blurring the line between code and crime. Now, that quote, that's not from some sci-fi movie. No, that's a real quote from Florida's Attorney General, the state's top lawyer. And what's he talking about? He's talking about ChatGPT, a piece of software that's in millions of our homes. And let me tell you, that statement, it's the first shot fired in a battle that could change everything we think we know about technology. So here we are. For the very first time, one of the most powerful AIs on the planet is at the center of a criminal investigation. And it all boils down to one simple, but honestly terrifying question. Can a piece of software, can an AI, be an accomplice to a crime? And look, this whole thing blew up incredibly fast. It all stems from the tragic shooting at Florida State University back in 2025. Investigators found that the shooter had apparently been in constant communication with ChatGPT, asking it for tactical advice, everything from which weapons to use to where to target students. So what happens next? Florida's Attorney General issues a subpoena to OpenAI. We're talking about a company worth almost $1 trillion and demands they start answering some very tough questions. So this is where it gets really complicated, right? You've got two completely different stories. The state of Florida is saying, look, ChatGPT crossed a serious line. It gave what we're calling significant advice that helped this horrible crime happen. But then you have OpenAI on the other side, and they're saying, whoa, hold on. All we did was provide factual info that's already out there on the internet. We never, ever encouraged anyone to do anything harmful. So this is way more than just a legal fight. It's really a clash between moving fast with new tech and who's responsible when things go wrong. And you have to ask, right? That question is hanging over all of tech. Because while OpenAI is dealing with all this public heat, you've got other tech giants turning these incredibly powerful AI tools inward. And they're using their own employees as the guinea pigs to train the next generation of AI. Yeah, I'm talking about Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram. They just told all their US employees they're putting new tracking software on their computers. And the official reason for this, get this, to collect huge amounts of data so they can train AI models to do those employees' jobs by themselves. And we're not talking about just passive data collection here. No way. This software is going to capture everything. Every single key you press, every time you move your mouse, every link you click. They're even taking occasional snapshots of your screen. And the whole point, they say, is to build AI agents that can do your office work for you. Now, Meta insists this data won't be used for performance reviews, but you can't deny this is a huge step up in the push to get AI into every single part of our jobs. Okay, so this race for tech dominance, it isn't just about software and AI. A very similar high-stakes battle is happening right now in the car industry, and this one has massive global implications. It's really a story of two completely different futures for the electric car. 6 minutes. Just think about that number for a second. 6 minutes. That's how long it now takes a Chinese company called CATL to fully charge a new EV battery. That's basically the same amount of time it takes you to fill up your car with gas. It's a total game changer. And their dominance is just undeniable. Check this out. Chinese companies, KTL, and another one called BYD, together they control more than half, 55%, of the entire global market for EV batteries. They're not just part of the EV revolution, they are driving it. And while that's happening over there, here in the United States, well, it's a very, very different story. That quote, a ghost town, that's how a news report described Factory Zero. This was supposed to be GM's crown jewel, their flagship EV plant in Detroit. They poured $2.2 billion into it. And now, it's been shut down for the second time in just 3 months. Thousands of people are out of work. This was meant to be the symbol of America's electric future. And this isn't just some one-off problem. GM has hit pause indefinitely on its entire next generation of electric trucks and SUVs. This came right after they took a $7.6 billion loss on their EV division. And what are they doing instead? They're actually adding a 6th production day for their gas-guzzling heavy-duty pickups.
And remember, this comes right after Ford basically killed the F-150 Lightning. So while China is flooring it, America's biggest car companies are slamming on the brakes. All right, so from the factory floor, let's switch gears and jump into the world of high finance, because there's another massive battle going on right now, and this one is all about the future of Bitcoin, with some of the biggest investors in the world going head-to-head with some serious market forces. 270,000. Just let that number sink in. 270,000. Because that number is the key to understanding one of the biggest moves we have seen in the crypto world in more than 10 years. Why? Because that's how many Bitcoin were just bought up by the whales. You know, the super rich investors, the biggest players in the game. And they did it in just 1 month. We haven't seen a buying wave like this since 2013. So the so-called smart money is making a huge bet. The problem is, they are about to run headfirst into 2 giant walls. Okay, so here's the deal. The first wall is right around $78,000. Think of it like this. That's the break-even point for a ton of people who are already invested. The second the price hits that number, a lot of them are probably going to sell just to get their money back. But the next wall is even bigger, sitting at $83,000. That's the break-even for all the newer investors who came in through those big Wall Street ETFs. If the price gets there, you could see another massive wave of selling. So you see the tension, right? You've got these massive whales buying up everything they can, but they're pushing up against these huge sell walls. And to make things even crazier, look at the supply. Almost 80% of all Bitcoin is locked away by long-term holders who just aren't selling. This is creating a massive supply shock. You've got tons of new money flooding in, trying to buy a tiny, shrinking number of available coins. It is literally an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. Okay, so a criminal trial for an AI, an American retreat from the EV future, a billion-dollar war over Bitcoin. It's easy to look at these and think they're all separate stories, right? Happening in their own little worlds. But they're not. I'm telling you, they are all signs of one massive shift that is completely rewriting the rules for all of us. We have AI that is now challenging our oldest, most fundamental laws. A piece of code, something we built, is being looked at as an accomplice to a crime. Our legal system has no idea how to handle that. At the same time, global competition is reshaping our most iconic industries. While our companies are hitting the brakes, competitors around the world are hitting the gas, building the tech that's going to run the world for the next 100 years. And what's the one thing that fuels all of this? It's your personal data. The race to build the smartest AI, the most efficient car, the most profitable financial system. It all runs on data. And as that whole meta story shows us, that data is us, every click we make, every single key we press. So listen, these are not separate stories. They are all different battlefronts in the exact same war. This is our new reality, a world where all the old lines between a person and a program, between our country and the world, between our private lives and corporate power, all of those lines are blurring so fast we can't even see them anymore. And all of this leaves us with one final, incredibly important question. As this technology just keeps accelerating, seemingly beyond anyone's control, when it fails, when it causes real harm, who's ultimately responsible? Is it the creators who built it? Is it the corporations who profit from it? Or is it us for embracing it all so quickly? The answer to that question is going to define our future.